Welcome back. Thanks for having me, man. We are doing a leg day today, one of many. Today we're going to focus on the knee, or the quad bias version of the leg day. So this will all be targeting the lower leg, or lower quads as opposed to the hips, moving the bias towards the knee. We're going to start today with activations and then a high bar squat on the Smith machine, followed by a leg press, which will have the feet low on this sled. Again, maximizing knee flexion and just bringing the bias towards the knees, lower legs. And then we'll do a lunge and a leg extension, probably the finish. There'll be 4 exercises, 2 to 3 working sets, which will be ample stimulus this time of the prep at about 11 weeks out. So let's get started. The glutes get juicy pretty quickly. All right, high bar squat, mid-foot directly under the bar. The bar placement is high up on the traps. I'm going to drop vertically and I'm going to have my hamstrings make contact with my calves. I'm going to just do 2 to 3 warm-ups before I start hitting my working sets. Frances has good ankle mobility, so she's got no issues with the range of motion. But generally, for those who have poor ankle mobility, they might like to raise their heels on a small plate to enable full range of motion, which is critical, right, to the muscle building stimulus. We're always looking for full range of motion. So I'm finding I'm a little quick through the reps as I warm up, but I'll start to slow down my tempo. When it starts to matter a little bit more, and the weight gets a little bit more challenging, I'll then start to initiate like a 2 to 3 second eccentric, really controlling the lift, being explosive on the concentric. And just doing sets of 8 to 10 as we hit those top sets.
Do you know anything about techno? No.
So far, so good. Feels good. So yeah, control, constant tension, cadence, no pause at the top, nice and slow, controlled descents, pushing the knees out to engage the glutes, and the rest takes care of itself. So I've got, now a good amount of stimulus happening in the lower quads. And that's how we build all this area here. It's just moving the bias towards the knee joint, maximizing knee flexion. Whereas with a low bar squat, it's more in the hips, a little bit less knee flexion, the load traveling further up the leg into the hips where we're more powerful. So the low bar squat is obviously lends itself to lifting heavier. Up. Big breath. So volume. Like I'm doing 2 working sets per exercise at the moment. That's plenty of volume and plenty of stimulus for me to be maintaining muscle throughout this dieting phase. But typically in an off season, that's when you get away with a bit more volume, and you can tack on, you know, drop sets, supersets, and those sorts of methods to try and increase volume, total working volume. But right now, when we're in a calorie deficit, we're approaching the halfway mark of a prep, volume generally suffers a little bit, and we taper it back to keep control over things like inflammation and stress and recovery ability. So it really is just a balancing act, and some days are better than others, and we might have the carrot dangling and we might be able to take on a little bit more volume depending on how good we're feeling. But more often than not, we are controlling our numbers really closely, just keeping enough stimulus on the working muscles to basically keep them from atrophying whilst in a calorie deficit. So 2 working sets today. Frances might do 3. She's not dieting down. Frances is going to do a quad bias leg press. So her feet are going to be further down the sled than the conventional stance, which means she's going to get more ankle flexion. She's going to get more knee flexion as a result. But I want her to be targeting her medialis a lot. I'd love her to develop that a little bit more. So what we're going to do is just bring the feet out a little bit wider than my stance is going to be, for example. So she's going to put the bias towards the inside of the leg. Not too much of a flare, about 5 to 10 degrees flaring of the feet. Off you go. Nice depth, and then push away through the foot. Good. Volume's a little higher, being exercise 2. We'll probably go for 10 to 12 reps. To 10. Key point. Knees follow toes, always knees follow toes. So because she had a splay in her stance, we wanted the knees pushing out sideways, activating glutes more. We get more contribution from the glutes and the hips there. And she won't get any knee troubles throughout the movement. All right. So I'm controlling, controlling the tempo, making sure I get that full range. That's my priority. The load's next, but that comes close as just as important. The idea is to maintain that control even when it gets super, super heavy. Do not, at least this is the goal, right? At the highest level is to not sacrifice form even at the very top. So I'd rather fail with perfect form than jostle and twist and turn to get the rep when I could potentially throw something off. So my foot position's a bit narrower. I'm putting the bias here on the outside sweep, but it's kind of centered here. You'll see I'll get a bit flushed. That's where the blood is. Here we go. Push. 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 Ooh. Ooh. Boom. Boom. That's good. I'll probably do one more top set. Action deep up. 3, yeah. 4, yeah. 5, yeah. 6, yep. Yep. Give me 12, yeah. 8, yep. 9, yep. Don't stop the cadence, okay? 2 more. Ooh. 1 more. Ooh. Okay, rack it. And that's where the gold is. You'll notice she stopped at about the 6th rep. I made her continue and she didn't stop until the 12th and final rep. She wanted to, but I forced her through it, and she got more stimulus out of it as a result. So those micro pauses, if we try and cut them out, we just do a whole lot more damage in the one set, which is what we want.
She's so happy about it.
Narrow. Easy. But you'll notice it's all here. And I'm really driving my knees in over my toes, over my big toe. So I'm really applying a lot of pressure on the large toe and the big toe to make sure that I'm keeping those knees in line with my feet. And that stimulus is all there. That's good. Outside sweep. And they're full as a bull. I'll get into this in more detail with the ebook and how to program, or how I like to program leg training. But for my own training, I like to incorporate a unilateral movement. And that is usually to identify imbalances in development, but also strength. So functional imbalances, but also aesthetic imbalances. And there's always one or two fantastic exercises you can incorporate into any leg training session, whether it be hamstring biased or quad biased. Today, obviously being quad biased and lower quad biased, I can't go past the lunge. So we're going to do a kettlebell walking lunge today as the one unilateral exercise that I like to incorporate in leg training, quad training. So 2 working sets. I'm going to get straight into it because this is exercise 3, I'm good to go. Yeah, the beauty about that is that my gait is short, and we'll see it on the next couple of working sets. You'll see Frances doing. Her knee will travel out over her toe. So she's putting the bias towards the toes, not so much towards the heel, because that would engage the glutes a little bit more. So we are really transferring the bias from the hips towards the knee. We're once again targeting this region here by having the knee travel out over the toe. So yeah, I think the key there is just to make sure that the gait isn't too long in the stride length. So yeah, you're about to do your next set.
Giddy up.
Ooh. Ooh. You feel me? All right, we all know leg extensions are the quad finisher. Yeah, this is exercise 4 to complete quads. Relatively low volume training, but the stimulus is there. So the way I attack this is constant tension again with a good quality 2 to 3 second eccentric, and I just don't pause until I reach the end of the set, which will be between 12 and 15 reps. And I'll push this into failure a little bit, unlike the previous 3 exercises where it was a little bit more controlled. This is a little safer to be able to push into failure and just squeeze a little bit more out of what's left in these muscles. So here we go. Bit more squeeze. Pull the toes back. Up, 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 up.
That looks enjoyable. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well another key is to pull the toes back so you get contraction all the way up into the hip. That is a bit of a secret I like to hold on to. Whoa. That was quick. Doesn't take long. That's why they're a finisher. They just don't take much. Take the spot.
And they just shut off.
Yeah, it's like a light switch. Whew. Usually get 1 or 2 reps notice before you just fail. Then push into that. You might want to give me some force reps on the last set. Just push 2 or 3 in. Oh yeah, yep. More. That's it. Pretty simple.
Pushing so hard.
Done. It's good. 4 exercises, quad based. These are cooked. What is it? 4 exercises, 2 working sets. So 8 working sets. I wouldn't go more than about 12 working sets during a growth phase, deep in the off season. But being 11 weeks out, just slowly but surely reducing volume over time. Just listening to the body. Critical. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Until next leg training session. Yeah. Done. Without an injury. Shit.
Yeah, I'm on to it anyway.
Oh.